Like I said, one of my favourite ways to start the day is Fascial Coffee, so I thought we'd do that together first. And this is just one of the many beautiful ways to open the body up and the fascial lines exactly the way the body likes it. So I'm going to start with my right hand in front of me, but it doesn't really matter which one you start with. So that's left, actually. Left hand. We'll go right, shall we? So we're going to brush all the way down the inside of the arm, nice and slow, all the way to the fingertips. And we're going to come back up the outside. And all we're focusing on here is nice and slow. But we just want to be noticing how each part of our body feels as we brush against it. We get so used to, I think, not touching ourselves and not focusing on sensation that this is a beautiful way to do that. So 3 times, we're going to do everything 3 times. Then we're going to bring the left hand in front of us, brush all the way down the inside, noticing the pressure that your right hand has on your body, all the way down to the fingertips, back up. We do everything 3, 6, or 9 times just because the body tends to like it. Just making sure that you're breathing too. Now we're going to place that right hand above our head. We're going to come from the fingertips all the way down. I like to go all the way down to the hip. Nice and slow, just opening all of this channel up. Feeling that connection to your body. Just saying, hello body, good morning. I think it's really easy. We're going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. So it means left hand, arm comes up, we go all the way down. Sometimes it can be easy. We jump out of bed, we do all of our stuff, and then we haven't even said hi and good morning to our body. So I love to start the day by just checking in. Beautiful. Now I'm going to come all the way down the front of the legs to the feet and then up the inside of the thighs. And I like to end up in the front of the pelvis. So down the front, all the way to the feet, up the middle, ending up at the pelvis. Taking your time, noticing how this part of your body feels. Maybe you notice that some parts of you are feeling more open, some are feeling a little bit more tight. Now we're going to go to the second to smallest toe. So we're going to go to the side. So those kind of last toes, little toe and second to last toe, we're going to start there. We're going to come up the sides of the legs, sides of the knees, sides of the thighs. And I like to brush those kidneys off at the top. So we're coming to the sides, side of the calves, thighs, brush those kidneys off. So a flicking motion. One more time there. Up the sides of the thighs, flicking motions in that kidney. So it's like this. Just opening those kidneys up. And then we're going to come to the back. So we start at the heels. We come all the way up the back, the glutes. I like to carry on brushing those kidneys off. Same again. Nice and slow, checking in with your calves, your thighs. How are they feeling this morning? Beautiful. Having a little shake off. It's normal. Sometimes I feel a little lightheaded when I've been down there, so just taking it slow. We're going to come to the right hip, and we're basically going to wake this digestion up. We're going right hip to left hip, up and round. And we're just putting some pressure on the digestion. It's actually the opposite way to digestion. I like to do this 6 times just because it feels really nice. So we want to be saying hello, good morning, stomach, all of the organs we have here. Nice. Now we're going to come up. I like to start at the center of the chest. I brush out to that shoulder and over. This helps with lymph drainage, getting everything kind of moving. We're actually going to do a chest opener today. And then we're going to come to the throat. I like to use the palms of my hands, fingers facing backwards. Nice. Pressure in whatever way feels good and right in your body. There really isn't a way to do fascial maneuvers right. It's about leaning into your tension points and what feels good. And we're going to brush the jaw up. Again, this doesn't need to be a crazy amount of pressure. It's whatever feels good. Some mornings, then we're going to come across the face and then over the ears. Some mornings I'm doing this really lightly. Other mornings it feels good to have quite a bit of pressure to help with that lymph drainage. It's whatever feels right. Then we're going to come over the eyes. You can use the pads of your hands. Sometimes that's a little bit easier. Going across the head. Just checking in, noticing behind your eyes. Checking in with your jaw this morning. Mine's just cracked. Then we're just gonna brush. I've got my hair in a ponytail, but I like to go all the way back, brush back. 3. Then I like to come down the neck again, but towards that front. Yeah, nice. Just kind of helps with the lymph drainage. And then let's just have 2 hands on our body, wherever feels good. I also have 1 hand on chest, 1 hand somewhere kind of here. And we're just going to take 3 breaths together to kind of solidify this practice, sync our energy, and to just fully arrive. So in through the nose, if it's available, out through the mouth. 2 more, in and out. 1 more, in and out. Just noticing those hands connected to your body, feeling that pressure, that support, that care. Sending every single cell in your body gratitude for showing up so courageously this morning, to move, to breathe, to show up for yourself. And we'll have a little shake out in whatever way feels good. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. But again, it just starts to kind of get the lymph moving a little bit, but starts to discharge any energy that may have built up through the night. We're gonna do an ear pull now. So ear pull is great for many things. I notice that when I wake up in the morning, sometimes I have a bit of stiffness in the neck and I kind of get it up through the head too. You might be able to tell that I've been a bit coldy the last few days and very nasal. So it really helps open up all the fascia around the head. Great for anxiety, feeling worried, unsettled, because these are the vagus nerve activation points. So basically just going to grab both of our ears. You can do it individually, but we're going to grab both of our ears. There's no right way. I have kind of little ears, so I kind of like to put my thumbs almost in my ears. But I want you to pull those ears up, and then I want you to twist them forward. You know, sometimes it can be a little clunky to get grip. Just know if you lose your grip, you just repin them. So as we know with fascial maneuvers, may or may not know, we want to pin and lock a part of our body so that when we move and breathe around, everything around it has to move. So we pull them up, we twist them forward, and now we're going to breathe. We're going to breathe through the nose, out through the mouth, and I want you to move really slowly. If you can get into a squat, that's great, but I just want you to look up, look down, get in all kinds of directions, and that's going to really help. You can open the mouth, like you said, so in through the nose. Yeah, if you open that mouth, get into the jaw. I just want you to feel what feels good in your body this morning. Follow your beautiful body. 6 breaths all together. For me, that is 1 more. Beautiful. And unwind, go for a little walk. So we find that the most effective way is to kind of walk in a figure of 8, but we just want to walk in between to integrate and to notice anything that's shifting. For me, I can hear a lot better. I kind of feel a little bit more like I've arrived this morning. I've had a couple of cracks in my jaw, so the ears are all connected to the jaw down here. And I just want you to notice. I think it's really easy to kind of rush through maneuvers. For me personally, I was very disconnected from my body for like 32 years, 35 now. And I think there's such power in noticing without judgment. So for me, I feel a little bit of sensation kind of melting down here. And what you'll notice with fascial maneuvers is that as we move pressure around, because that's basically what we're doing, we're a pressurized system, different parts of our body start to say hello. And we want to welcome that. So we're going to do a throat opener now. I'm going to weave in the organs in between some of the things that we're doing. So there's a couple of ways to do this. You can have one hand behind the neck and then you can pull the skin up on the neck. I personally like to have one hand on the clavicle and I pull down like this. And again, doesn't need to be a lot of pressure, we're not choking ourselves. And with the other hand, I gently pull that skin up just because that feels nicer for me. But if you want to have a hand at the back, that is all good. And then we're going to breathe through in through the nose, through in through the mouth. You can move around slowly. So we're going to go in through the nose. Softly connecting with this area. I like to look up because that seems to intensify the stretch. Now 3 in through the mouth, so in through the mouth. 2. I like to say it is safe to speak my truth. And often when we add affirmation, just really amps up the body's ability and capacity to be able to move. Yeah, just let that circulate. I love that you've got the yawns coming through. That is good news. Nice little parasympathetic. Body's waking up. Nice. Have a little walk around. Notice how that feels. Often when you open the front of the throat up, and I notice also when you push down on the clavicle here, often it creates some space in the neck. So just be the curious observer. What's going on for you this morning? How's it feeling? I actually feel a little bit less sinusy, strangely, since we've done the throat and the ears. Yes. Now we're going to do a chest opener. So there's many ways you can do this, but basically we're going to take both of our hands and we're going to find a point of tension somewhere in this region. So we hold a lot of tension here, surprisingly. So I want you to just have a little, we say palpate, and you'll notice my neck always goes really red with that throat opener. So I want you to find a point, have a little palpate on the chest and find a tension point. When I say tension point, I mean just somewhere that feels good to be. Maybe it's a little tender. Maybe you notice it's a little tight. And what we're going to do, we're going to pull those hands apart once we're there. Pull them apart, pin in place. And then we're going to look up, which intensifies the stretch. And we're going to breathe. So once you find your point, we push down and we pull those hands apart. Once we pull those hands apart, we want to pin in place. So hold it in place. I like to bring those elbows close into the body. I want you to look up to intensify that pressure. Then we're going to breathe 3 in through the nose, 3 in through the mouth, feeling free to lean into any tension if you want to move slowly. So in through the nose, out through the mouth, in, one more in through the nose, now in through the mouth, out through the mouth, through that mouth, I like to say I open myself up to receive as much as I give. I choose to open my heart to the day. And unwind. Go for a little walk. For me, that is usually very strong. I feel a lot of sensation. What I notice when I open up the chest here is that often it creates space in the jaw, but also in the shoulders. Often when fascia is constricted here, for example, it pulls in the back. So often we'll feel the sensation actually in the back, where the point of pressure, shall we say, is actually in the front. So just take a few breaths. Notice how you're feeling, anything that's rising for you. Maybe you notice sensations. Maybe there's parts of the body that feel tingly. Maybe there's part of the body that feel more flat, more opaque. I'm burping, which is always a good sign. Yay, waking up. So now we're going to do pullover. This is a really beautiful one for opening the side body up, the kidneys up, great for the lower back as well. We're going to take the right hand and we're going to bring it to the back of the shoulder. And it's like this meaty bit here. We're going to pull up on the skin and we're going to pin this in place. So this is our pin and lock. I like to bring my elbow nice and just close to the body. Just, I find, helps with just keeping this pin. With the left hand, we're going to come to the right hand side of the rib cage and we're going to pull that skin round. So we've got double lock. So we have a pin and lock here and we have a pin and lock here. So we pull it round, we pin in place. We're going to, I like to have feet hip distance apart, but just any kind of grounded stance. We're going to bring that head to the left very slowly. Fascia likes to move slowly. And we're going to raise that left shoulder like a shrug. We're going to shrug this shoulder. And because head comes to the left, that means always that body comes to the right because we deal with counter rotation. So head comes to the left. I want you to move your body around to the right. And what we're going to do is pull over. It's like it's a rounded movement. And we're going to bring this left shoulder, keeping it shrugged, towards that right knee. So we can do it nice and slow. And I know there's lots of bits to this. So head comes to the left, shoulder is shrugged. And then we pull over slowly. I like to pull over here, find a tension point where I can feel it in my lower back and breathe here. So in through the nose, we're going to go first. I've got a little tension point here, so I like to hang out. Lean into tension. And then carry on. So that left shoulder comes towards the right knee. Once you've done 3 in through the nose, let's go through the mouth. 2. Finding your tension lines. 3. Ooh, that's nice. And I want you to slowly, slowly come up. Have a little wander around. For me, you'll notice with all fascial maneuvers, I'm always making some like crazy shapes. With that, I like to bend into that right knee, that opposite knee, to really get into where I can feel it in my body. So with all fascial maneuvers, I just encourage people to do what feels good and right for them. We want to really lean into you. If you find a point in your lower back and you're like, oh, this feels good to be here, you know, that really is a tension point. Be there. For me, that's actually opened some space up in my chest. Can feel a little bit less tension here. That lower back is feeling a lot more spacious. It's feeling a bit tight this morning. So have a little bounce. Sometimes I like to kind of whoosh the hands, arms. We're going to do exactly the same thing but on the other side. So this time we take the left hand, we bring it to the back of the right shoulder. We pull that skin up, we pin in place. Once we've got that, we bring right hand to left rib cage. We pull that skin around to pin in place here. This time we take the head slowly to the right, which means we bring our body round to the left. We shrug that right shoulder, so we bring it up. And then we do the same thing. So we're going to go 3 in through the nose, 3 in through the mouth. We're going to take this right shoulder and we're going to pull over to that left knee. And I want you to pull over a little bit, find a tension point, and breathe there for a couple of breaths. So in through the nose first. 2. And then when you're ready, carry on. Maybe you bend into one of those knees now through the mouth. 2. 1 more. Nice. Very, very slowly unwind. Go for a walk. And just really notice what's showing up for you. I feel kind of a warm sensation in my shoulder, a lot more space created there. Feeling a little bit more energized, spacious. Can actually start to feel sensation coming down my arms to my ankles, to my wrists, sorry, my ankles. So we always want to welcome sensation. It really is the basis for moving any kind of old survival stress, emotions through the system, is building our capacity to feel. So during the maneuvers, I just like to be present with sensations and just notice where they're rising. So now we're going to do an adaptation of the kidney release. So we're going to wake our organs up. I find that this is very powerful for, again, opening the side body, similar kind of place, but this time we're going to breathe slightly differently. So we're going to do 3 sharp breaths. So in, more. And this just kind of helps amp the energy up. Kidneys are essentially our key, our energy. So we're going to take our left hand, we're going to bring it to the top of the left hip. And we're basically going to twist backwards. So we're going to twist this backwards. With our right hand, we're going to come to the kind of boob point. And with this right hand, we're going to pull towards the front. So I'm pulling this back. This one is being pulled to the front. So we've got a nice counter rotation. And I like to push down with that left hand and pull them apart. So this is going back, this is going forward, and then I kind of pull them apart. We're going to bring our head slowly to the left, and then we're going to lean our whole body over to the right. I often like to bend into my right leg just because that increases the stretch. Once you've found a tension point to somewhere that feels good to be, we're going to breathe in, more, hold, lean into tension, and breathe out. We're going to do 2 more of those. So in, more, hold if you can, and out. And you can do these slower or faster, whatever feels good. So in, do them fast, and that's going to really increase the pressure, and out. Ooh, yeah. And come up slowly. Have a little walk around. I find that this creates space in my lower back. I can feel some real melting into the glute. And this is an adaptation on the kidney release. The ordinary kidney release, you sort of grab the rib cage and you lean into it. I find with the counter rotation, it just kind of amps it up. So I'm going to do exactly the same but on the other side. So this time, this right hand comes to the top of this right hip. We twist slightly backwards, and you can push down. It means the left hand comes to that boob height, and we pull slightly forward. And once we're here, We pull those hands apart. We bring that head to the right. We lean over to the left with our whole body. We find that tension point. And then we do those sharp breaths in, 3 in whatever way, however quick feels good. So in, more, more. Hold at the top if you can. Lean into that tension and out. 3 sharp breaths in. Lean in and out. One more, in. Ooh. And slowly come up. Ooh. Whoa. I feel slightly lightheaded, which is very normal when we're moving pressure around. I feel that in your field too. You're like, all right, wow. So it's normal kind of whooshy feelings, feeling lightheaded as we're moving pressure around in the body. It's very, very normal. So just know that all is well if that's what you're experiencing in your body. Take some breaths. Notice your lungs filling, how it's feeling. For me, I feel a lot more calm. It's like I've landed. Before, my energy was very like, which is not wrong, but feels nice. Notice your feet on the ground. Nice. Feels good. Now we're going to do one of my favorite ways to open up the thighs and the hips. So this thigh release is one of the ways to really get into this kind of top bit of the thigh and round to the glute. So basically, you can have your feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. And we're going to take the right hand. There are 2 ways you can do this, and I'll show you both. Right hand is going to come in between the legs to the back of the left thigh, and we're going to pull that forward towards the midline. We're going to do with the left hand, we're going to bring it to the top of the left thigh, and we're going to carry on that rotation. So that hand is going to pull towards the left. So it's basically like you're carrying the rotation on, or you can just grab your thigh, so one underneath, one on top, and then you twist to the left hand side. So we're basically trying to get that nice pin at the top of the thigh. So we come under, we pull that right one towards the front with our left hand. That is going to the left, so the outside of the thigh. Once we've got this pin here, we're going to squat. So as we squat, we're going to bring that head to the right. And then we're going to breathe in through the mouth. We're going to keep this pin here. And we're going to lean into tension. So once you've got that there, I like to lean back. I find that in my body, I get the most amount of tension. We're going to breathe in through the mouth. Move around slowly if it feels good. 3 breaths. We want to have a total of 6. 2 more. 1 more. Ooh. And when you're ready, come up. One little tip. Whoa, that was strong for me this morning. One little tip is you can actually use a towel. If you roll a towel up, you can bring it in between your leg, and you can, if you can't get the grip, you can take it. But the point is that we're rotating the whole thigh outwards. And then when we're bringing our body to the right, that's where we're creating the counter rotation. Let me know if you've got any questions about that one, because for me, it was a bit clunky at the beginning. Oh, that feels nice. Whew. I feel like I've created some space here, which is so interesting because we have zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. So this is the top of zone 3. Whenever we move anything around in any of the zones, because we are a pressurized system, something has to move in the other 2. So it's always surprising to me. I'm like working on my foot and I'm like, oh, my ear. Beautiful. So we're going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. So nice, get a nice grounded stance in whatever way feels good. Have a little shake. Woo-hoo. This time we're going to bring that left hand. It's going to come to in between the legs to the back of that right thigh. We're going to pull forward with this right hand. We're going to put, so we're twisting outwards. So left hand comes forward, right hand, we twist outwards, carry on that rotation. Once we've got that pin, we're going to bring our head to the left, body a little bit to the right. We're going to squat and let's breathe through the mouth. When we breathe through the mouth, it increases the pressure down in the sacrum and in the hips and the pelvis. 6 breaths all together. That's 2 more for me. Ooh, 1 more. Wow. Come up, go for a walk. This is a beautiful one to do partnered as well, because you can really get into it. So have a little breath. We're actually coming to the end of our time. So we're just going to end with a head-heart coherence, but let's just let this settle for a little bit. Just want you to really check in with your body, where you've been working in that kind of thigh and glute. Is there any sensation available? Maybe some heaviness, some lightness. Maybe you notice where was a little bit more flat before, there's a little bit more movement. Maybe you're noticing in your body somewhere some heat. For example, I've got some heat kind of in my chest. I can kind of feel it coming. My feet feel cold. So just noticing those sensations, our body's messenger, their signals. So we're going to put one hand on the heart, one hand on the head, wherever feels good. I like to imagine, because our energy goes up like this, up through our spine, central line, up and out the head. I like to imagine as I breathe, breathing in, it coming up and spiraling. Just bringing the head and heart into coherence, knowing that our mind and our heart have 2 very, very important jobs. But I like to remind myself, especially in the morning, that the heart is the center of our guidance system. And I like to just give it permission to lead the way. So we're going to go in whatever way feels good. We're going to take 6 breaths here. So I'm going to go in through the nose to start. Allowing anything that wants to come on that exhale to come. In and out. In and out. Just carrying on that breath. I like to say thank you, mind, for telling me stories to try and keep me safe. I do not need to be led by these stories that aren't for my highest and greatest good any longer. Today, the heart leads the way. I like to say thank you, heart, for your infinite and continued guidance. I trust in that guidance. Please lead us through our day today. I like to bring both to the heart to end. I just want you to consciously send yourself so much gratitude. It is courageous to show up for ourselves. There are so many reasons why we don't show up for ourselves, or there are barriers to coming into community and moving our body, but ultimately it's the body that keeps the score. So this is such a beautiful way to honor yourself, and I am so grateful that you spent this time with me this morning.